I've been mentioning this a lot to Dan, but it's kind of funny now that it's been 10 years since Doctor Who has been back on the screen. Ironically, it's also the same year when the Star Wars movie comes out.
And that's been like just over 10 years since?
Yeah,
2003.
I think it was Doctor Who came back in March 2005, and Star Wars Episode 3 came out back in May 2005. So the same year, just a few months.
Yeah, I was thinking, why 2003 for?
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe. That's when it was officially announced, I think it was coming back, Doctor Who.
Yeah, 2005. 2002 as Attack of the Clones, so...
Yes, exactly.
Boring piece of shit.
But let's not talk about that, because there's enough been said to death about it.
Yeah, the thing about Star Wars and Doctor Who right now is the reason why we're talking about this, because you brought it up how different they are in terms of being spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, a spoiler, even though it's a thing, it's like the tail thing on the end of a car, it's also the term used for you just spoiled this. You know, when the food goes off.
Yeah, it's mainly that somebody tells you about a big event that happens in the story or whatever, or a reveal of a character, and you know, the difference being is that at the minute, The Force Awakens, everybody is pretty much just saying, oh, don't tell them what happens in the movie, don't say what happens. And yet, with the last series of Doctor Who, the big thing going on was, oh, by the way, Davros is going to come back as a small kid. And it was like, really?
Nikki, spoilers!
Yeah, exactly.
No, seriously, spoilers, what the fuck?
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean, is the difference is that, the difference being is that with Star Wars, it seems to be like, it's a deal, you do not say Doctor Who. Yeah, you just say it. It doesn't change anything.
Did you know that Amy and Rory are going to die in the 5th episode this season? No, I didn't. Thanks for spoiling that for me, you fucking idiot. I don't care about them. I feel more for Rory than Amy, but fucking hell, did you have to spoil that for me?
I know.
Now I can't stream, yay, when they die, and it's like, just get on with
it. Well, why would you want to say, yeah, they're dead, I don't have to see them again? Wait, I'm a terrible person.
Amy is not a good character. It just isn't. Rory's a better character.
Well, yeah, that's...
He fucking dies for her, and gets nothing in return.
Yeah, but that's, again, long story. But again, it's interesting the difference being with... Because you have to remember, like, when Empire first came out, the big thing at that point was the whole Darth Vader being the father thing. And yet, you have to think back, this is long before the internet or any social media happens, so...
Yeah. That's what really infuriates me. Like, not just Star Wars or Doctor Who in general. This is basically 80s, 90s, when someone said something, you could just instantly go, I don't believe you, and be surprised when it does happen. Like, here's a surprise, the father dies at the end of this film, or your main character sacrifices themselves at the end of the game.
Yeah,
you were on the playground, you won't fucking believe that, because you haven't seen it yourself.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping it's not true.
Basically, Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, when it does happen, you're a lot more surprised, saying, damn, he was right, I owe him my lunch money. But now it's like social media, online articles, journalists, and just assholes in general just want to spoil everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the best example right now is when Sonic Generation was announced, and basically we're going to have all the fan favorite levels being recreated for both classic and modern interpretations, and everyone threw out their opinions saying, "Oh, obviously it's Green Hill. We've seen Green Hill. It's right there on the article. We see it. So what's going to be next? Oh, maybe they can use City Escape Adventure 2. That'd be great. Oh, what about I don't know, Ice Cap or Sonic 3. I fucking love that one. As soon as the demo came out, the classic demo, which took a forever to download because, whoopsie, someone left in all the in-game content within that file. People hacked it, and we had the episode list 6 months before it was released and a few months before it was announced.
Yeah.
Even Aaron Webber, who was head of PR, I think, was he?
Yes.
Yeah, head of PR.
Or at least back then he was the guy to talk to about this.
Yeah, he even said, don't do this, it's just ruin it for everyone else. And it's a bad representation, but still, it's like, oh yeah, I've realized someone hacked it, and what we're going to get is Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, Speed Highway, City Escape, Seaside Hills, Crisis City, Rooftop Room, and Planet Wisp.
Yeah. The problem with that is that here's the thing, especially with Doctor Who, is that a lot of times when these sort of big surprises happen within the show, a lot of times Stephen Moffat wants to keep it a secret because he wants the audience to find out about it or as he watch it. And like you said, big problem when somebody just goes and just finds out what it is, then A, it ruins surprise, and B, it kind of muddies people's view. It's like, well, if that's going to happen, I'm just waiting for it's just going to be that. Then it's like, well, I'm not going to bother playing this or watching this, or, oh, it doesn't have my favourite level in. Oh, we're doing that? Right, I won't watch that episode. And that, for me, is really the worst part of spoiling stuff, because it turns people off from either experience what they want to show off.
Yeah, another example as well. Like you said, it will muddies your opinion, and this happens every time. When Mass Effect 3 came out, as soon as I got it, I was playing it. But being in the UK, we don't get new games until Friday. In the US, new games come out I think Monday. I haven't really experienced a new release yet in the US. I'm not really interested. I was buying that a week later when it was down in price. But my friend told me, you won't like the end of Mass Effect 3. You just won't.
Yeah.
Be prepared to be disappointed. And I was thinking to myself, gee, thanks. It's going to muddy my opinion now. I'm going to expect the worst of the worst endings of all time. Guess what? I actually enjoyed the ending of Mass Effect 3. Did it make a lot of sense? Not particularly. Was it kind of rushed? Sure. Was the three choices a kind of thrown out there because I couldn't think of a way to actually incorporate all the choices you made over 3 games? Yeah. But you know what? It was an ending. It actually ended the arc. And plus, people just thought it's another choice. But then again, you could be the most nicest person in the entire galaxy and still turn in the end saying, you know what, I'll control them.
Yeah. Like I said, and for me, I know I'll just rattle this to then about Davros or whatever, but here's the thing, a lot of people were saying this already. In fact, I met Terry Malloy, one of the previous Davros actors, which he pretty much just told me, yeah, they're doing it, which is like, okay, this is getting really weird. And even with going into the episode, it didn't bother me. I mean, this is the different, again, maybe for other people it did, but for me, going into the episode, part of me was wondering, okay, how's it going to work? Because even knowing that, okay, it's going to be about Davros as a child, it's like, well, what are you going to do with him? What kind of interesting quirk or storytelling are you going to do with it? And for me, it didn't totally ruin it. It ruined the surprise, but it didn't ruin the episodes I saw of it. And I think that's the crucial difference when it comes to spoilers to certain people. It's like, you either just say...
You can hint at it.
You can hint
at it. You can't just flat out say it.
Yeah. And like I said, sometimes when you do tell them the spoilers, you don't particularly tell them... Sorry, try that again. When you tell them the spoilers, you don't particularly tell them how it actually happens. You know, you don't say it happens exactly like this. You just say this happens, but you're not sure in the story how does it all come to being, really.
Yeah, but I think the better thing you can do to someone is lie. Like, say, at the end of Return of the Jedi, oh yeah, Han Solo dies in the Return of the Jedi. It's very touching scene there. I can't believe George Lucas even wrote that.
Yeah, I mean, with Doctor Who, I mean, Russell T Davies, you know, he basically, as the show's runner, I mean, part of his job is to lie about Doctor Who. Like, a lot of times we say, oh, we're never bringing about the Daleks again. Oh, I'm not bringing about the Master. And it's like, it's kind of a game. It's like, you sort of think, okay, how long is he going to keep this up until it may happen or may not happen? And that's kind of the fun of it sometimes. It's like...
He kind of lost it around Series 4.
Probably, but again, the idea is that you're not going to tell them, we're not going to bring back character A.
But the entire thing about Doctor Who, about it coming back, is that no one fucking knew until it was announced. Because they called it Torchwood.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, you know, just as the show kept on going, people kept wondering about, oh, what monster are you bringing about? What character are you going to introduce and stuff? And half the time, you lie to the audience, you don't tell them. Because you want to sort of play with their expectations at times. And I think that's one thing Russell T Davies did a lot in Doctor Who. Like, for instance, one good example I could give is like, me and Dad, we remember years ago in the Radio Times, they showed off the human hybrid Dalek, which was a big spoiler for that episode anyway. But on the one hand, it kept that attention away from people wondering about the whole Mr. Saxon thing, which was the big plot arc of Series 3. Yeah. So in many cases, it was both a spoiler, but again, a deception to hide the real spoiler for that series, which was the Return of the Master.
It was good anyway, because the episode turned out this shit.
Yeah, but again, like I said, that's how you do this type of thing. It's how you...
You perceive the spoiler, don't flat out mention the spoiler, but have fun, don't ruin it for everyone else. Right now, everyone's being really fucking good about keeping Star Wars Force Awakens hush hush.
Yeah, I mean, at the minute,
Just
neither...
wait until the holiday season is over, and then people will go, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!"
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the minute, most of the reviews I've seen, everybody's basically kept saying, I can't, I'll tell you what the movie is without telling you what the movie is," which is like, they're really committed of saying it. Even Movie Bob has done a whole review about it, which he's basically saying, I don't know how to tell you this without telling you the movie, but I'm going to try my best. And it's funny because neither of us have seen the movie yet, and we still are, again, we're unsure exactly how it is or what the movie will be. I mean, ideally good, that's what we're expecting.
Right now, because of social media,
Mm.
no one tell me what happens, no one tell me who's doing what. All I hear is two things. One is basically a copy of episode 4, which honestly is not a bad thing. We're trying to reintroduce Star Wars to a new audience, especially with Disney.
Yeah.
You gotta have a safe ground. Episode 4 is a good safe ground. And that the character Rey is a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
You know what? Because it's a main character and they probably do some really good stuff, doesn't make him a Mary or Gary Stu.
Yeah, it depends how you do it, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, those are the only things I've heard about it. And if anything else, it's like it reached $1 billion within 12 days.
Yeah, because it's Star Wars.
And it's looking to knock Avatar of its fucking high horse.
Exactly. But like I said, it's funny how, again, it seems so tight lock at the minute. Like, we seem to be at the moment where Star Wars The Force Awakens is so, like, we're not going to tell you a thing. We're not going to say a thing about the crucial plot threads.
It's kind of like the Illuminati or the Voldemort of movies right now.
Yeah, it's kind of, you do not mention it.
The film that must not be... Did you watch the film that must not be spoiled?
Spoiled, yeah.
Oh yeah, the thing that should not be named should not be expressed to be definitely should never be said out loud.
Yeah, to a crowd.
I inadvertently agree to disagree with that statement.
And like I said, and compared to Doctor Who, where the series is over at the minute, but even then, people are already blurting out little things and details and what-if scenarios already, which, again...
Even the Doctor Who social media can't give its fucking trap shut. I'm just seeing clips of River Song again.
Yeah, I mean, that is, to be fair, that doesn't tell you anything about what happened in Series 9, though, for his sake, and for anybody who's not seen it, I'll give you a very quick review of that episode. I would say about 50 minutes of it is just pure dog shit, and the last 10 minutes or so is actually worth watching.
So basically, it's just slightly better than The Widow in the Wardrobe?
It's basically like, it's almost like Stephen Moffat has written a Russell T Davies Christmas episode, except it then turns into a Stephen Moffat episode towards the very end.
Oh.
So that's the best way of describing it. If you thought this is dangerously near very, oh god, it's just a one stupid joke from beginning to end, isn't it? But it does have a redeeming feature. But like I said, not saying a thing.
So the day with this is basically don't fucking spoil anything, you nitwits.
Mm-hmm. And even if
give it a month, okay? Then you can spoil it, because by then at least 80% of the population of you living in has already seen, played, or heard it.
Yeah. And even if it does get spoiled, that doesn't necessarily mean you will be totally disheartened by the experience of it. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. If you are going to spoil, lie to them. Have a bit more fun with it.
Yeah.
Don't just go, they die at the end.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everyone dies at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you're lying, you can also use that line as well.
Yeah, exactly. Although, like I said, play with the lie. That's the best way of doing it.
Yeah, raise your expectations.
It's the only time in life where lying is actually a good thing.
But have a small hint of sarcasm.
Yeah.